from the beautiful New York. I have something very wonderful to celebrate because exactly 2 years ago, on the 11th of November 2021, I left my home country Belgium to start into a fresh new life. And today, 2 years later, I'm sitting in my new home in New York with my beloved husband, and I'm happier than I could ever been. And I feel like I really grew to a real woman. I really met myself truly, and I can say with certainty that I know who I am and that I am home now within myself. And 2 years ago, I was very troubled. I was so lost in life. I lived a life in Belgium. I was an employee in social work. I was living in a house, but I was really sad. I was really troubled, and I knew I have to move. I knew I have to leave this life behind to find my happiness, to find myself, to be happy in life, to have a chance to a really good, happy life. So I was always fascinated by traveling. I always loved traveling, but I knew since I was a little girl that I belonged to another place, that I belonged somewhere else. And 2 years ago, there was the time I was brave enough, I was ready to really leave. So I quit my job, I sold my beloved horse, I sold my piano, my house, I sold everything I had responsibility for. I sold everything I owned. So I only had a big travel backpack left. And I randomly decided to go to Costa Rica to start my journey there because I knew I have to go far away. I was so curious to get to know another culture, to learn Spanish, to travel by myself. I knew that Costa Rica is safe and easy to travel alone. So I just booked a flight just a couple of months before, and I left my country. I told everyone I'm gonna move. I don't know what will happen in my life. I don't know where it will end up. I just knew I will not come back yet, or just come back to visit at some point. And that sounds so easy right now, but it was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. It was so hard, and I didn't have much support. I had a bit support here and there, but mostly people didn't understand. It was it seemed so crazy to do this step, and it seemed like I didn't have any reason to do that, but I just knew I have to do the step. I just knew it. So I left, and I traveled around in Costa Rica. I worked a bit, and I really dedicated this time to meet myself, to heal, and to come home to myself, to really meet my true self, because I feel like I never did before. And at some point deep down in the jungle, I attended a shamanic medicine retreat with the wonderful plant ayahuasca. And in this retreat, I met my wonderful husband, Johnny, and could heal so deeply and could transform myself into my true self. And when Johnny and I met, it was so magical, and I still can't believe it when I'm speaking about it, because it seems so out of the world, this meeting, but it truly happened. And we saw each other, and we knew that we belonged together. There was no question. We didn't have to speak to each other. Of course we did, but from the very first moment, it was like we saw each other for who we truly are, without any masks. We really met each other, and it was almost like seeing an old friend again you missed your whole life. And yeah, so we spent this retreat together. It was an incredible transformative time, and after these 2 weeks I followed him back to New York to visit him, to get to know his life, and I never left. 2 months later, we got married so I could stay in the US because we knew we want to share life together and nothing else mattered to us. And since then, life just gets better and better. Johnny's mantra, Johnny told me and promised me from the very first moment, from the very beginning we met, that life will get better and better. And when there's a challenging or dark time, when we don't feel good, when I don't feel good, he always tells me, Larissa, remember, life is getting better and better. And I have to admit, it's true. He is right. And we're having this wonderful, beautiful life together. I found my roots. I found a stable foundation to build a real life, to become a woman, to become a mother at some point, to build and create things in life, and most important, to be truly alive, and that to me is the most important thing what could happen to us in life, that the most important epiphany, the most important realization we can have, that we really come back to ourselves, into our heart, into ourselves, become truly alive and a true human being. And I wish that for every single one of you, and that's the reason why I'm sharing this story in a few words, in a few minutes, to inspire you to really truly follow your heart and your intuition, because sometimes it seems so crazy, sometimes it seems like it doesn't make any sense, sometimes it feels so challenging, so you need all your courage to really do that. But if you feel like you need to do this step, then do it, and magic will happen. I promise you that. Because when you really go with the flow of life, you will get the gift of living truly, and this is worth it. So be courageous, stand up for yourself and follow your own path. I will do that too, and sometimes it is not easy, but it's always worth it. So have a wonderful day.